Hey guys, happy Saturday. Welcome back to Unqualified Critics. If you're enjoying the videos, please do hit that like button. It makes a big difference. NBA Jam has an update today. Now, I reported on this yesterday, said, hey, the firmware is broken. But what I like to do is always come back and close the loop. So when something changes that I already reported on, I want to make sure you know. Now, this was posted to Reddit by Arcade1up Official, so you may have seen it there. They probably also posted this on Facebook. I just haven't looked there yet. They didn't email it out, and I know a lot of you guys are not on these social media platforms. So the key is this. The NBA Jam firmware update is fixed. It works fine. And I just installed it myself. I only played for a few minutes, but the slowdown issue, or sorry, rather, the speed up issue is gone. Works great. Sound is fine. But there's another issue that I never experienced that has been fixed, and that is that the game would severely slow down while you were playing online. I probably never noticed it because I don't play online very much. But also, I guess this was a rare bug. So many of you may have never seen it or hadn't seen it yet. It has been fixed. The other thing is an improvement to how rage quit is handled. So if you're spectating an online play and you hold the player one button, which I believe backs you out of the game, that no longer counts as a rage quit, which is good because when you set up these penalties for different actions, kind of meta actions in the game, yeah, there's playing the game, but then there's quitting the game. If you're going to penalize quitting the game, then it has to be handled correctly. But remember, this update was actually designed to support rage quit and punishing it, and I'm very glad that they've done that. This is something I called for in my review. This is something I know a lot of people in the community wanted, and I really would guess that going forward, this rage quit mechanic is going to be applied to other games where scores are kept track of that are online play from Arcade1up, because they explained a while ago that they built out one architecture for online play and they plan to reuse it for other games. So hopefully we get a rage quit update to other games as well. This whole experience tells me that we really do need Wi-Fi on all the Arcade1ups, and not for multiplayer necessarily, but for firmware updates. Because this couple times now, the firmware update has come, or the patch, whatever you want to call it. You download the patch, and it doesn't work, so you wait another week or two, or in this case, just a couple days. You get the updated patch, and you've got to install it. Well, if you're online, that's really not a big deal. But if your cabinet is not online, now you've got to have a Windows PC, you've got to take the cabinet apart, you've got to plug in a USB. Not a big deal, but if we're patching the same cabinet 2, 3, 4 times, it does become cumbersome. I'll tell you with my cocktail cabinet, it's a little bit irritating taking that apart. That takes a couple extra steps, and every time you remove the plexi from the top of that cabinet, you risk scratching it because the material under the plexi on the cocktails is, at least on the new Miss Pac-Man, very, very easy to scratch. And in fact, I already have a little bit of damage from screwing around with, I think I've removed the topper 6 or 8 times. Now, I've done it more than you guys because I was going through test patches, and that was something I wanted to do. So I'm not trying to boo-hoo about it. I'm simply saying this would all be a much better experience for us if we had an internet connection, because I do think going forward, these patches are going to just get more frequent, in my opinion. They're getting more involved with the emulation. We're a long way now from just simply emulating a stock game. Take a look at Buck Hunter, which was designed to run at 60 frames per second instead of the original 30 that some of those games ran at. On the Arcade1up model, we're talking about 60 frames per second. It worked fine. There was no problem with it. I'm just pointing out that that is more involved. The more involved you get with tweaking these games, the more opportunity for error, the more opportunity for future downloads or patches. So all of that is to say, I really do think an online support for this for all cabinets would be a win. But I said it before, I'm just glad to get the updates. On the other hand, and with NBA Jam, it was online. Whole thing's pretty seamless. I downloaded it, it works great. Go download it and take a look. The next thing I want to cover is from an absolute detective. This is also on Reddit. User Arcadio, I'm not really sure how to say the name, but they went on a site called Import Genius and found, well, some insights about cabinets shipping from Arcade1up, including pinball. Take a look at this. Marvel Digital Pinball arrived in port January 27th. Now, what do we know about when it arrives in port? We know it's going to be a couple weeks, and then it will show up in stores. So expect in really a week and a half or so, I think you guys are going to see Marvel Digital Pinballs showing up. If they go in stores, I don't know, maybe these will all be online only. I'm really not sure if they'll be in retail, but I kind of expect them to because I think they're going to be huge sellers. Star Wars Pinball, January 19th. So any day now, you're going to see these show up. What is not listed here? Well, what's not listed is Attack from Mars, so that's going to be a little bit longer. But it is nice to see some of the cabinets that have been out for a little while, like NBA Jam. They're still shipping those, so there's still demand for that, which is cool, especially if you play online. That means more people to play online with. The Outrun cabinet is still coming in strong. The sit-down cabinet arriving December 23rd in port, so those are probably in stores right now. Take a look at Golden Axe. Unfortunately, the last time we saw that ship was 12/21. Also thought it was interesting that Burger Time shows up. I thought those were all sold out, but those must have been some of the absolute final cabinets. So I would encourage you to take a look at this Import Genius. Great resource. Now, Arcade1up goes by different names when they distribute. There's Tastemakers Asia Limited, there's Kokum International, so there's different things to look up here, but you are going to get the absolute latest information about when these cabinets can be expected. Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate having you. As always, I hope you enjoy your weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Hey, consider hitting that join button to support the channel, and thanks so much for watching. Dripping